I'm here, I promise. Hello, everybody. How are you? Woo-wee. Funniest thing happened on my walk today. I saw someone I haven't seen, I don't know, in years and years and years. So while we're waiting for people to come on, I can actually get this looking a little bit more professional. Hi, everybody. Sorry, I'm a little late. I didn't even have a chance to do my hair. Hi, Nora. How are you? It's Friday. How exciting is that? Thank you for the thumbs up. It's so nice when everybody does the thumbs up. Because you know what? It pushes the video in, up in the algorithm of. Oh, you like my hair down, Gail? Thank you. Well, I'm going to put on the Shoreline Shawl. Isn't she pretty? I love this. There's a couple ways that you can wear it. If I get cold, I'll put it the other way, but. All right. So thank you all for joining. My name is Kimberly McAlinden, and this is Knit a Rainbow with Kimberly McAlinden. Welcome, welcome, welcome to my YouTube channel. It is so nice to have you here. I have a favor to ask. I am three subscribers away from 2,500 subscribers. And I think that it would be incredible if after this, I would have 2,500 subscribers. So if you haven't already and you enjoy the content of my channel, if you would please hit that subscribe button. Nothing really happens except it helps me in the long run. Nothing happens to you. So if you would please hit that subscribe and like the video, I would really, really, really appreciate it. Let's see if I can get to 20. See, I have naturally curly hair. Isn't that crazy? It's still a little bit wet. I went on my walk. I worked this morning and then I went on my walk and then I saw the crossing guard that was my kid's crossing guard, and we ended up talking for half an hour, and then I was late. I was late, so nothing happened. But you know what? And this is what I've learned in my life. I don't really care what I look like. No, that's not true. I would rather not look the way that I want to be presented and spend a half an hour with someone I haven't seen in, 8 years than, say, oh, I have to go because I have something planned. I just, I'm just starting to do the things that I want to do. Today, I'd like to give a super happy birthday to Griffin, my nephew, my sister's son, and to Kelly Beth, my brother and sister-in-law's daughter. So that's their birthdays today. So that I would mention them on the thing. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about, and you know what? I don't know if I'm going to be able to. I have another. I have like a document. This is my document camera that I use when I'm teaching on Zooms and things. And I thought hey, Victoria, I thought that I would use this to show a technique, but I don't know that I can change the camera because I tried to change the camera before and it like knocked me out of my live. So I don't know how to do that. I know how to do that in Zoom, but I don't know how to do it on here, but maybe I can figure it out. We'll see. But so I'm going to talk about the Shoreline Shawl. I'm going to talk about a new design that I have coming up for the Blue Pearl, which I was weaving in the ends today, and I thought to myself, you know what? This is a great thing that I could show on the live because you know, when you're knitting and when you're joining stitches or you're doing lace or you're adding a neckline, sometimes there's holes, sometimes there's holes like right here on your arm. And there are ways to fix it. If you don't fix it before you're knitting, there are ways that you can fix it after you're knitting. And so I kind of wanted to show a little example of that. So I have, look at this color. So this is, I don't know that I'm going to show the whole, well, I'm going to call for test knitters probably on Monday. I have to write the rest of the pattern today. And it's just a really pretty, it's a fingering weight. And this will be released for the New Jersey Wool Walk. So I am doing this, I'm doing this for the Blue Pearl. This is their color that was made by Marinated Yarns. And it just has like the lightest, this is the non-public side. And so it has just little bits of purple in it. There, you can kind of see the purple in it. It's beautiful. It's beautiful yarn. I absolutely love knitting with it. So we'll talk about that as well. And then we're going to talk about gauge. Oh, hey, Shayla girl. Victoria needs lesson for underarm holes. Oh, well, that's a great thing. You caught me live, Shayla. Everyone go follow Black Pearl Magic. She's a magical human being. And also Victoria is on here from Vita Lifestyle. Her Breakfast Club collection ends tonight. So if you wanted to get any of the stuff on there, if you go and look on her Instagram, I mean, if you're catching this live, that's great. But if you're watching it on playback and it is Friday, you have until midnight to go grab that collection. So yeah, gauge. We're going to talk about gauge. And I talk about it ad nauseum, actually, because, there are some times when gauge really isn't that big of a deal. Like when you're making a shawl, right? Because it doesn't have to knit you. It doesn't have to fit you in a specific way. But when we're talking about garments and, let's face it, I'm primarily a garment designer. Then gauge happens to be an incredibly important thing that you have to know. I'm going to sip now. I'm going to let that sink in. That's my dramatic pause. Okay. So first, I'm going to talk about the Shoreline Shawl. The Shoreline Shawl it's a fun crescent-shaped tab shawl that is knit back and forth. You use fingering weight yarn. It takes 800 yards, so 2 skeins usually of people's fingering. See how it has that little tab in the front? That's why it's called a tab shawl, and it's a crescent. Am I going to have to stand? I think so. And it's a crescent. So, oh, that's a pretty picture of it. Thumbnail. Anyway, so this is, I absolutely loved it. So the original shawl, I was asked to do a sheep to shawl presentation at a ladies dinner. So I went to the New Jersey Sheep and Wool Festival. I purchased this, which I believe is Coriadel. I can't remember anymore. And I spun it on my spinning wheel. And then I took that yarn and I designed a shawl. And so whilst these wonderful ladies were having their dinner, I was describing how I did it, and, what it took. And so that's how it started. And I was telling, I was putting it on social media, and a lot of people were asking me to write the pattern because, I was being lazy. I was like, oh man, this is great. I don't have to write the pattern because it's never going to go out. And all of a sudden, Yeah, I had to start writing it. So I started writing, and in comes Tabitha Habold of Long Island Yarn and Farm. I'm going to sneeze, sorry. And whew, excuse me. And spring is here. And so she is a farmer, and she has llamas on her property and goats and sheep, and she does shearing as a profession. She travels all over, and so it just kind of turned into this amazing knit along. So we had over 60 people in our knit along, and it was so much fun. And so Tabitha, we had 4 Zooms. So Tabitha was talking about the animal husbandry part, the farming part of it, and the shearing, and how she talks to her mill, and how they get yarns made. And then I was doing the hands-on, here's how you knit it, this is how you start it, this is how we do it. And it just turned into this wonderful, amazing thing that then I wanted to do more of it, because my passion really is to connect with all of you, and connect with the knitters, and connect with people, and help them, help them. So this is out of Tabitha's yarn. It is her fingering weight yarn. There are 2, and you use 2 skeins. I had, barely any left when I was done. And so you knit back and forth the shawl part, the stockinette part, and then when you get to the number of stitches that you need, so here's your yarn is facing you, you're going to cast on these stitches, and then you're going to work back and forth on the lace. All the while, when you're coming back down here, you're eating up these stitches from the main body. And so whilst you're knitting the lace, you're also casting off, or not casting off, you're also binding off. So at the end, when you come to the end of the shawl, you have 16 stitches to bind off, and then poof, you're done. So it was wonderful. It was a really great experience, and I absolutely loved it. So the ladies that were involved in the knit along, they got all the videos on their pattern and everything like that, because they paid to be in a knit along. Everyone else, there are 2 very helpful videos on the pattern. And then if you want new help, if you're looking for step-by-step, in-depth, and you've already missed this knit along, then the other videos, which was explaining how to do the lace, how I weave in the ends on a shawl, which is different than how I weave in ends on, under the arm or on a shoulder, and then how to block it, those videos ended up on my Patreon page. So if you if you go to my Patreon and you decide to become one, it's $6 a month, and you get all those. And then you also get a coupon code to use on the pattern as a thank you for joining my Patreon. So you love your short. Hey, Peggy, how are you? So I just got back from my walk. So here it is. It's soft and drapey. You can use any fingering weight that you like. May I suggest, there are lots of yarn shops that are putting kits together. Tabitha of Long Island Yarn and Farm she is putting kits together, and so you can wait for that. You love the knit along. Thank you, New York Sunshine. And so it was a wonderful experience. It was really great. This yarn happens to have silk in it, and it has merino, and I forget the last thing. Well, isn't that great that my desk is a complete disaster and I still have it here? So it's alpaca, 50% alpaca, 30% merino, and 20% silk. That is her that's her yarn. So if you have something in the stash, go stash diving. Anything with linen in it is going to have a really pretty drape. Anything with silk in it is going to have a pretty drape. I know that a regular sock yarn with nylon in it would be beautiful. You don't necessarily have to do a solid color. You could do, those what's it called, Victoria? Blueberry pancakes would be amazing. That would be so pretty. Oh, hey, Michelle, you're doing the lovely tea knit along through the knitting place. Well, I saw that. Thank you so much. So I loved doing the knit along so much that I teamed up with the knitting place in Port Washington, New York, and we're doing another one. It is not going to be this. It's actually going to be the lovely tea, which is a pattern that I had designed a couple years ago. But it's like the perfect tea for spring and summer. So that one is, so if you're feeling a little FOMO, you can still sign up if you go to the knitting place. I'll put a link in the description box after the live. But so there's two different options. You can purchase the yarn, which I wish that you would, from the knitting place. That's how they stay open. Or you can purchase the knit along. So the knit along is $75 for the 4 weeks. And the way that it works is there are 4 Zooms. There is already an active private Facebook group that people are in where all the videos will be placed. Every week there is a mailing that goes out that will have the week before's Zoom on there. So if you're not a Facebook person, please don't feel like that you can't join. You absolutely can join. You'll be on the Zooms if you can. And if you miss them, the next day in the flyer that goes out or the email will be the link to watch the Zoom. It is very much like a class, and there are several different parts. And so that's why, as well as I absolutely love doing this, I still have to pay for insurance. So oh, did you guys peep my thing? Okay, so that is that. So if you would like to join up, there's no time where so it starts on April 7th. But if you decide on April 9th that you want to join in, you can still join in because everything is recorded, so you can go back and watch at your leisure. Hi, Angie. Angie, I wish you would post that picture of you in the Shoreline Shawl all by yourself. You look absolutely beautiful. Is there a specific day we Zoom every week for the knit along? Good question. The knit along is 4 different sessions, but since we are knitting a sweater, or it's not a full-length sweater, but so there are weeks in between. And since we're starting in April, we're ending in May. And there are the holidays in there. So there is Easter and Passover in there. So there's one time we start, and then we give a couple weeks, and then we have another Zoom. The actual dates are listed on the knittingplaceNY.com's thing. I can give you the dates if I look at my phone. Let me look for you. So the dates of the Zoom would be April 7th, April 28th, May 12th, and May 26th. And each Zoom session is an hour and a half from 7 to 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that is so I'm going to get into Gauge now. Now I'm wondering oh, I don't have access. Drat. I can't turn my document camera on. Hi, Liz. Your knit along Zooms are both fun and educational. Thank you, Anne Marie. Thank you very much. Boy, this is so nice. Okay, so for the tea, the original one was done like in a single ply. I remember it had silk in it, and it was made for the yarn shop that I was working for at the time. And thank you very much. I keep looking at the comments. I know it's some people say it's distracting, but it makes me feel like I'm talking to you guys. And the original pattern is written on a size 6 needle for 6 stitches to the inch. Okay, fingering. And so I am the great thing about the Knitting Place and working with them is that they have lots of different yarns that you can choose from, right? So if you wanted to make a wool silk blend, they have wool silk blends there. They actually got a huge shipment from Suburban Stitcher, Diane, and her colors are, oh, they're so good. And most sizes would take 3 skeins of yarn, so less than $100 and for that, for that kind of yarn. But then they also have for our friends in the southern states, and even for us, in the summer if we want to wear it, they have other blends, like linen blends. This happens to be from Sanascarn, and it's I think it's called Tin Lena, and it is their fingering weight yarn. And I thought, and a kit for that is gonna be around $50. So, a wide range of of prices that you can do. And there's over 75 people already in the knit along. So like join us, be part of it. It'd be so fun. So okay, so the garment is knit in the round. So when I did my gauge swatch, because I've never worked with this yarn before, I don't know how it's going to work. So what do I have to do? I have to gauge. I have to gauge it a gauge, glorious gauge. I have to gauge. I have to gauge in the round, because if I'm working back and forth, that's different. Then your stitches are different, because a lot of knitters use a little extra yarn on their purl round when they're working back and forth than when they're working their knit round. So that's why it'll be different. Your stitches will be different. So I took my chibi set, my shorties chibi set, and I started out with size 6 needle, which is what the pattern said, and I just cast on whatever it took to get it in the round. And I think this is 75 stitches. And I knit a swatch. That's really blown out. This is more of like a pretty purpley color. Look, I mean, I'm kind of like in the same color. So so this is what it looked like. The stitches to the inch were way, it was too big. Let me measure it now for you. So on this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I was getting 5 stitches to the inch. Now, if some of you were asking, why did you say 15? When I measured this, I measured 3 inches and divided by 3, because your stitches can be different, from time to time. So I take the average. So look how this is 5 stitches to the inch, way too big. If I had my bra on and it was the summertime, it would be a little bit of a peep show. Not what I'm interested in at this point in my life, right? So so this was out. Notice that it has a little crease in it right here, and that's because I blocked it. I gave it a block. Next up, I went down to a size 5, and I was like, this is it. Like this is gonna be it. And this is the fabric on the size 5. I like the way the size 5 looked. As you can see, it has this little mark in it because I also blocked it, because I wanted to see how this was going to act. Now, this was, let me cover my face. This was better, not as see-through. And when I measured this one at 5 stitches to the inch, I didn't have my piece of paper, apologize for that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. So 16 divided by 3. So it was 5 and a little bit. 5 and a quarter. No, 5.33. And so still too big. Too big. Too big. Too big. Third time was a charm. The third time I used a size 4. And I loved the way the fabric felt and looked. It just, look how pretty. Wait, cover my face. Look how pretty that fabric is. So not see-through, but air can get through there if it gets hot. And this was exactly 6 stitches to the inch. Let's wait for my camera to realize that I've taken something away. Okay. So that was the gauge. So now I will be using a size 4 needle instead of a 6. Now, working on your last sleeve. Yay, Gail. I'm the original Kim K. So that is what, that's what I did. This took some time. But what would really stink? And yeah, it took time and I wanted to get started and I wanted to start, filming the videos and stuff. But what would really stink is if I took the time, some people, it takes a month or 2 months to knit a sweater and then not be able to wear it. That would royally stink. And so in the Facebook group for the Lovely Tea right now, somebody, she's using Lola Bean fingering, and she didn't like what it looked like on a 6. She liked the way it looked on a size 5, but she was getting 6.5 stitches to the inch and she didn't know what to do. And so in the Facebook group there, I was like, after I answered the whole, text, I was like, but I basically said, instead of using this size, use this size. And this is the reason why. If you want to use those needles with that yarn. And, and so that's the kind of stuff, that's what you're paying for. You're paying for talking to the designer directly. And so I can help you and you can learn lots of different stuff along the way. So excited for that. I'm really sad I'm not going to be able to, well, I'll try to talk you through it. I'm going to show you the top for the blue pearl. Thank you. Angie says this is a good lesson, a great lesson. Thank you. Again. Oh, and if you are a gauge person like I am, Broken Crafty, she has like gauge buttons that are, like I don't know, they look like blue ribbons, but they're not, they're white, and it's like you're the great gauge person. So I'll put her information in the description box after the live so everyone can see that. But I literally, and I don't know if Shayla's still on here, but I literally was laying in bed and I saw that and I was like, oh my gosh. And if it was available last night, I would have purchased it because totally have, all my credit card information like that. But it was for today. And I was just like, man, I need that so bad. Okay. So excited to show you. Now, I don't have all the ends woven in or weaved in because I wanted to show you something. So let me show you. This is a fingering weight pretty tee. It will be available April 22nd, I believe it'll go live. I will actually be at the Blue Pearl on the 23rd for the New Jersey Wool Walk. I'll be there to say hello to people and help them pick yarn if they want. And so I am design. Well, I designed. I just have to finish writing it, and it's not blocked yet. So I'm feeling a little nervous because it's not blocked yet. But let me stand up. So here's the tee. It has lace. It is a bottom-up design, so it starts from the bottom, and then you split for the sleeves and the neck. Has a really, really pretty V-neck. Oh, thank you, Sue. It has, look at how pretty that detail is on the V-neck. So it's really very feminine. It's very flowy. It's a drop shoulder. Now, the great thing about this, and I will be writing this in the pattern, is that you don't have to add the sleeves. So if you don't want to add, you know, this bit of sleeve, it still would look absolutely gorgeous. Just, you know, open here, you know, and of course the pattern will say it, but it'll be more stretched out like that. So if you don't want this extra part, you don't have to have that extra part, right? Another cool thing is that if you want it, now I love fingering weight sweaters. So if you wanted to wear this in the winter time, you can pick up stitches around this pretty sleeve here and knit a sleeve. Wouldn't that be cool? So you could have sleeveless, a short sleeve, and a long sleeve version, all in one pattern. So that's what's going to happen with this. Isn't she pretty? So this yarn is from Marinated Yarns, and it is fingering weight, and it is knit. That was the chair. It's Susie, I haven't named it yet, but thank you. It's going to it will debut in April at the New Jersey Wool Walk, and of course on my Instagram it'll absolutely, you know, you'll probably be sick of it. But what I wanted to talk about, what I wanted to discuss. Oh, maybe I can do. I'm gonna ready. Don't get dizzy, everybody. Great if you get hot flashes. Word. I also tried this on because this is my size. I always make my size. And I just had a bra on. And even with, now, it hasn't been blocked yet. So I don't know how it's going to act when it's blocked. But you really couldn't see enough for me to have to put like a tank on underneath it. So we'll see. That's when I was like trying it on in my house. I think I have a picture. Do you guys want to see it? Let me see if I have a picture. So y'all have seen the pictures of the Shoreline Shawl, you know, that I've posted and everything. I have to show you my daughter. She takes these pictures too. There's another one that I was like, oh, ready? Because this, I was mad at her because she was saying that I wasn't smiling right. That's the fear. My kids sometimes call me fierce mom. They're like, oh, here comes fierce mom. And like they make fun of me, which is great. That's fierce mom. That's my face. She got it. She got it. I had a pretty braid that day too. Okay. So what I wanted to show you. Oh, I wanted to show you a picture of me in it. Hang on. There it is. Here. Can you see? Oh, there. Can you see? See how pretty? It's another one. But you can't see the neck. But see how that extra sleeve there, but you don't necessarily need it. Here, let me make this bigger. Hide my face. See? Isn't that cute? Okay. to show you, I see you, Katie. What I wanted to show you was, here is where I picked up the stitches for the neck. Okay. Isn't it pretty? It's like open. It's so, I love it. Anyway, but look what you see. Do you see these holes here? Right? So, you know, I am weaving in all my ends and I'm looking at these holes. Now this is where the shoulder, here, I'll show you so you can see. This is the shoulder. Okay, here's the neck. And right here, you would test in a heartbeat. Thank you, Susie. Look for it on Monday, okay, friend? You have to be a fast knitter though, because it's going to be a quick turnaround time, like 4 weeks. But anyway, so see these holes? Okay. Now, I have been teaching for a long time, and there are a lot of students that would say like, oh, why do you get, you know, why don't you, meaning me, Kimberly, why don't you get those holes? And the answer is, I get those holes. I just do something differently when I'm doing my finishing work that gets rid of them. So here I'm gonna try to do it. I take my darning needle. Now for this, it doesn't really matter what size I use. I'm going to just use this quick chibi because I want everyone to see what I'm doing. One thing that I want everyone to try to do while they're knitting and when they're looking at plain stocking net or whatever they're doing, I want you to try to see how the yarn travels, how each stitch is made and how each stitch on top of each stitch, like how it looks in stockinette. It's very, very important information to have. So what I'm going to do now, look how lucky. Oh, see, I think you're looking at my hands. Wait, hang on. You're not going to see my face. Let's see. What do you think? Hang on. Can you see it or is it yucky? Can someone write? All right. So I'm lucky because I have 3 different ends here with which I can use. And this is why it's super, super important to not, thank you, Susie, to not cut your ends super short. Okay. You want to cut them. You want to cut them a little bit longer. Okay. So what I'm going to do, this is the not public side of the fabric. I'm going to take this one because it's close to this hole. Close to this hole. So I'm going to thread my my darning needle. Okay. Now I'm going to follow the path that I see of a stitch. Oops. Okay. Ready? I'm going to follow the path of the stitch. So let's look at it. This is the public side. Let's look at what it looks like now. Okay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to follow this stitch, and the yarn usually kind of tells you where it wants to go. Do you see this little piece right here? Well, I'm going to go up there. This is really awkward, friends. I'm sorry. I'm going to go up here around this stitch because I'm trying to close up this bit. Oh, this isn't really. Okay. So I'm trying to close up this bit right here. So I'm going to go through here. Right. And then I'm going to come down here. Now, watch what happens when I just pull on that just a little bitty bit. The hole's gone. Did you see? Did you see? Did you see it? You use your ends to close the holes that you don't like, okay? If you like the holes, that's totally cool. Now, as I was looking at this, and I close up the hole, I see that the next stitch a little bit below is a little bit open. And so I'm going to follow the path of that one. The knitting police, oh, I dropped that thing. The knitting police are not going to come and say, oh my gosh, you duplicate stitched your open holes to close them up. It's a perfectly acceptable way. Oh, squee. I love the way it looks now. All right, so let's look at it. Now this hole is still here. I haven't worked on that one. But the other one was right here. The other one, I'm gonna poke it through where it was. It was right here. And now look. Has anybody used that technique before? Has anybody felt empowered to use that technique before? I want you to be able to do that. I wonder if I lost you guys. Okay, so there's that one. Now I'm going to do the next one real quick. And I'm going to show you what it'll look like. Should I sing while I do this? I love to sing. Do you guys sing? I sing in the shower. So right now, I really am. I'm just following the path of the knitting. Another reason why this happens is I'm a huge fan of using a different needle size for not necessarily my technique, but Angie says, who knew she was doing a Kimberly technique, but it's not really mine. I don't know where I learned it from. Yes, I do. Lucy Neatby. So back in the day when I was younger, I used to watch video, and they weren't videos, they were DVDs. And when I was on the elliptical machine, and I love to watch knitting videos, like how-to knitting videos. And so that's what I did. I'm glad you do that. You do that on quite a bit of projects. A way where Lucy Neepy was talking about it, she was talking about it in the corner when you're doing sock knitting, like, just to give it, like, just to close that in a little bit, like when where the heel flap meets the bottom. But, there's nothing wrong with doing that. And I thought, ooh, it's been a while on the blog, not the blog, on my channel since I've done like a technique. Do you guys watch SpongeBob? That's from SpongeBob. My kids were huge SpongeBob fans. Okay. All right. So now I haven't, okay, here's really quickly, I'll show you the public side. No holes, because I just followed the path and closed up those holes a little bit. Okay? Yay! I'm glad I got to do something like that today. What else? Do you guys have, is that a new design, Kimberly? Yes, it is. It is going to debut at the New Jersey Wool Walk on April 22nd. And then I will be at the Blue Pearl on the 23rd. I won't be there on the 22nd because Might be not here. But do you want to see it? Let me show you. Love your necklace. Miss the sapphire. Thank you, Michelle. Yep, this is my my monogram. Sapphire, you're silly. So yes, here it is. Serenity and Stitches. So there will be 3 options on the pattern. You will either be able to simply, you don't have to put the extra sleeve on it. So it would just, it would be, just a really pretty shell to put on. Or you could put this little sleeve on. Or if you're like me and you like, you like to have sleeves, longer sleeves, there will be an option, I think, probably not when it is released, but it'll be in addition to the pattern that I'll add on in the fall, where you could add a sleeve to it. Thank you, Bonnie McGee. What a great name. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. Thank you. Thank you. So here it is. It doesn't have a name yet. Maybe there'll be a contest for a name or something. I have to actually ask the ladies of the Blue Pearl what they want to do with it. But I did show it to them when I went to the I taught a class there, the Knit to Fit class. And they actually really loved it. So I was really happy. And that yarn is marinated yarn, and it is the yarn color for the blue. It's the Blue Pearl color in her marinated yarns. I just said it. And I didn't bring one up, but that's that. So this one's going to be finished in the next couple of days. Test knit call will go out on Monday, and then there will, or maybe Sunday night, I don't know. Then I will be working on the Lovely Tee, which is a pattern that was mine for the knit along that is going on with the Tin Lena. So that will get started. And then my next project, I just got the yarn for. Look how happy this package is. Isn't that happy? So I just got this from the ladies of Skein Yarn Shop. Looks pretty. And I will be also knitting them, doing a design for them. Ooh. And this is in Jilly and Kittle. It's hand dyed in Rhode Island, which is where their yarn shop is. And so this is a local dyer. Look how beautiful that color is. Holy crap. Wait, can we just look at this? Everything looks so pretty together. Everything's matchy. That's crazy. Okay, so isn't this pretty? So this is a DK weight, 225 meters, 246 yards. Wow, good yardage on DK. This is 75% superwash, 25% nylon. So I know that they have this in the shop, and this will be next up in the design line. I just want to do this because and I got to smell it, and it smells good. So, this is pretty. So it kind of has the purple in it, but then it has like colors of see, I'm really bad at this. Oh, there. Pretty, right? Looks so nice. Jilly and Kittle. I like that they picked, a local person for their yarn. Coming up, friends, on the second Saturday in April, which is April 8th, I will be teaching the Knit to Fit class, and that will be at Forever Yarn in Doylestown, Pennsylvania. You need to call the shop. I don't think that the website works. The link on the website, that's what I've been hearing. So you would need to call the shop if you would like to sign up and go. It is a wonderful, wonderful town, Doylestown, Pennsylvania. It's really pretty, full of history, and there are lots of fun, museums and places to eat and stuff like that if you wanted to make it a destination and you want to come and visit. So I will be there on April 8th. I will be teaching the class. But if you miss the class, I will also be staying a little bit later, after the class is finished to help with shopping and, to look over your knitting. If you just wanted to come and say hello, I would love to meet you then. So that will be on April 8th. After that, in May, I will be in Georgia. And that we'll talk about, I think, next week. I think I'll have a live with that yarn shop next week. I should kind of update my website where the places that I'm going to be going. But I know that that I'm pretty sure that Forever Yarn, it's not sold out yet. So if you wanted to go there, that would be fun. Am I hosting a knit along? I am hosting a knit along starting on April 7th with with Dinah of the Knitting Place in Port Washington, and that is starting April 7th. So that is it's going to be so much fun. There's over 75 people now. I can't believe it. I'm so thrilled. So I can't wait, and if I could get my cool other camera working so that you could see my hands, that was kind of a little bit of a taste of what it's like to have a knit along, because really my knit alongs really are a class, but we're knitting together and having fun as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So without further ado, it's almost been an hour and I have to go back to work to get everything done. So have a wonderful, wonderful day. It is Friday here, Friday afternoon. And so it's going to, it's almost the weekend. And I'm just really excited to spend time with my family. I hope that you find something that you love to do and that you will take some time to do that for yourself. Self-care is so incredibly important. And like I said in the beginning, if it's between spending time with a human being and and looking right at them and actually listening to them and having a wonderful connection, or hurrying off because you have something else to do, please pick the human being. Please do it. We are all so desperate for connections these days, and I hope that you find them. And if you don't, I'm here. Come see me every week. It was so great to see you. When life is hard and days are gray, knit a rainbow. And if you can't knit a rainbow, crochet a rainbow. If you can't crochet a rainbow, then find a rainbow. And if you can't find a rainbow, friends, then be the rainbow. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you next week.